Yes.
So something I hate is intros.
Yeah.
So I think we can get that away like really, really fast. And then we'll take off the whole podcast.
Yeah, let's
Good?
go, man.
All right, let's do it.
Are you ready? Welcome to Hoy No Mas Podcast with Angel Houseman.
Welcome.
Hey.
What's up? What's up, Angel?
Cheers.
How you
Cheers.
doing?
Yeah, cheers, by the way.
Salute.
Yeah. Is this your guys' first podcast aside from your guys' podcast?
Like an actual podcast? Yes. Besides like
Yes.
the TV shows? Yes. So you do have the honor for the first podcast of podcasts.
So when you say, you said shows? Is that what it is?
Yeah, like, on TV.
Oh, man. You guys are way, way freaking ahead of me. Yeah. So this is nothing compared to that.
You know what? But I was talking about Drew that you make it homey and it's very
Yes.
professional.
Okay.
So sometimes it really doesn't need to be like a full-on studio like Telemundo, Televisa, and all of that. Like honestly, I think it's about the creativity and the talent of the actual host.
Nice.
So,
okay,
I mean,
I like that. That's making me feel good.
Yeah. Good job, Angel.
Yeah. So
I love the studio. I mean, man, I walked in here totally blown away. Great
nice.
job. Great
And
job.
it really, really is, homie. That's pretty much where I edit. Every day after work, I come freaking. If I'm not recording, I'm editing right there. And this is my own like little private office.
It's like your own little bubble, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Have you ever seen? They have a picture of different garages like Apple and all that stuff. I think it's Apple or Amazon that they have a picture of the garage. And at one point, this is going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish.
Exactly.
Manifestation.
Definitely. Most definitely.
Amen.
So to take care of the intros and things like that, would you like to start off a little bit of who you are, what do you do? Then we'll take it with Drew and then
Yeah.
we'll get started.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect. All right. Well, Angel, thanks so much for having us. So those who don't know, I'm Strella Star and CEO of Shooting Star Media and here with Drew Joan today. We're really excited. I mean, basically, many of you guys know that I've been in the TV and the media industry starting when I was 3 years old, but took it professionally when I was 13 years old. I'm 30 now.
Okay.
I'm 30 now.
You're young. Yeah. You really are.
I know, but
30 years
years young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've been in the media world forever. I started off with dancing. I really committed more into TV, commercial, and singing. And I started my first TV show with Fox Studios in Rosarito, Mexico, from the ages of 17 to 20. I did that. And then I decided to stop my artistic career for a little bit. And I went to San Diego to start working, corporate office and finance.
Okay.
So that's what I do. That's my background of why I talk so much. And also, I mean, I guess being an only child, like talking on my own, playing on my own. But yeah,
Talking to yourself sometimes.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes you have to do that to entertain yourself.
I'm an only child, so I know that.
Yeah, we're both only child.
relate to
But
that.
don't you guys think that's the total opposite? Because I feel like being an only child, you get enclosed into your guys' like little bubble, so you're more shy at times.
I think I got more creative because
Really?
when I was little, when I was like the age of 7, when I would go to the bank with my dad, I would steal from like the banks, those checks to write in and all that stuff, to pretend it was my little office, my little desk. I would be the bank teller and be a customer at the same time. And I would switch positions, like being the teller. I wouldn't even have my mom play with me. Like I would play with myself or with Barbies talking to each other. So like I've always liked to talk and always had finance in my mind. Long story short, I eventually graduated with my bachelor's degree in business administration, but I really stuck to finance. And I've been doing finance for about 12 years because I started working in Tijuana, Mexico in a call center with Telvista when I was 16 because I wanted to get experience to be able to come into America because I'm a citizen and get enough experience of call center, and I don't just went from there, and I love talking a lot. And then the TV show, I missed it. And then Drew and I've known Drew for about almost 8 years now, but we weren't like in contact every day now. So like we started off as friends. That's how it all started. Yeah. And then
I think that's the best way to start any relationship.
Yeah, definitely. And then just going to events, he would go with me, red carpets. And then he'd like, hey, you know what? We're always talking. We're always gossiping and everything. Like, this is what I used to do. And he's like, yeah, and I have ideas. And then that's how Shooting Star Media podcast got created.
Okay.
Because Shooting Star Media was basically first covering red carpet events, working with artists. I would be interviewing, like, for example, a lot of the Mexican industry is what I started with. Chuy Lizárraga, Banda MS, Espinosa Paz, Larry Hernandez, interviewing them, you know, doing like rueda de prensas and all of that. So now it's an incorporation of basically, yes, doing all of those medias and also doing our Shooting Star Media podcast in the studios, where we have special guests and also talking about the events that we're doing now. So we're kind of doing in carpet and out of the red carpet at the same time.
Gotcha. So how'd you get the opportunity to even go to the red carpet events?
Oh, I started, well, in the Artistic Academy, I started at 3.
Yeah.
But being in Telemundo, Televisa, in Tijuana, Mexico, that's where it all started for me.
Okay.
Televisa was one of Ivan actually Carrizosa. He does my music videos and stuff like that. He's the one who believed with me, and also Vicky Magaña. They opened my doors in Mexico. So that's how it all started professionally. And that's when I said at age 13, I want to be an artist. This is what I want. And my parents thought it was all joke and games at first, but I'm like, no, this is what I want.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm not going to be dumb and like not work and not get any income, you know?
Right.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
I love it as a hobby, and if it happens, it happens. But of course, manifesting, right?
Yeah.
Red carpets, I do have to say, Aron Barba was the one who gave me the opportunity to be in a red carpet for the first time with the publicist Tony Rocks. They opened the doors to me in LA in 2021 during COVID in April.
Okay.
That was my first red carpet that I did, and I took my bestie Sade Montoya. She got me ready for it, and we were like, okay, you know what, F it, it's COVID. We didn't expect to have a lot of people on the red carpet, but it was packed. It was like a private event.
Right.
But yeah, so that's how I got the red carpet opportunities. And then I was unemployed
Okay.
because of COVID. You know how everyone got let go?
Yeah.
So I wasn't working like for 7 months. So I started on a TV show where they invited me to be like co-host, co-production, and all of that. And that's how I got into media world, seriously. But I already had all this experience. It's just that honestly, like, because of COVID, I am where I am today. Because if COVID wouldn't have hit, I don't think that I would have went to Vegas again, recorded my EP album that's in the process, and be sitting here with you. I think I would have probably still be in finance strictly.
Really?
But COVID honestly was a blessing to me, even if it sounds weird.
You know what? A lot of people say that, even though it's very unfortunate, because for a lot of people lost their businesses, family members.
Yep.
Not necessarily that because of the actual COVID, right? But because of the way they treated and handled that situation, right? But a lot of people do say that it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, that because of that, they were able to start different endeavors in their life.
I think it's a blessing in disguise because you really knew who was there for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely. And I feel like a lot of people had so much time in their hands that either they came up with something to do, or they had a lot of time to watch things. And so people who started things in social media really took off from there.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people had a lot of time on their hands. So, idle mind is the devil's playground. So you got to do something.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
a lot of people picked up a craft. I particularly learned how to do stocks. And let me tell you, that was a wild time watching a market go down and up in the last couple years. So,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, COVID created a lot of opportunities for people. I mean, straight, that's pretty cool that I didn't even know that COVID was the catalyst to your whole career getting revived.
Yeah. Honestly, I think like a lot of artists fail in not mentioning things to publicists. When you make it, a lot of people, unfortunately, their feet no se queda debajo la tierra, se suben, presumidos y todo eso.
Yeah, like pretty much like saying that they forget where they came from. Okay.
Exactly. And I'm very against that. So I always say thank you to the media and the publicists, because without the fans, media, and publicists, an artist would not be where they are. And I do have to say a lot of thanks to a lot of publicists who have believed in me, and then now that know Drew, like Melissa, Roberto Barone.
Thank you.
Honestly, they have supported us like since day one when they met Drew. They've always supported me, but when they met him, like they incorporated him with Shooting Star Media, with me in the podcast, him becoming an influencer. It's been great. And Barbara Sanchez as well. Like they've all believed in us. So honestly, a big thanks to everyone in the LA industry, because without you guys, I mean, I wouldn't be here.
Yes, thank you.
So what exactly have they done?
they have been the ones who have opened the doors into the events, like Industry Connection. I was one of the moderates interviewing like Jesse Ortiz, LA radio station hosts, people who have worked with J-Lo, people who have worked with like Ice Cube, Pati Torres. I've covered a lot of events, like for example, Snoop Dogg with Bobby D Presents. That's been a great experience. Like being able... If you guys go back, like, you gotta scroll on my feed, like being able to interview like Chanel West Coast from like MTV, from all of that. That's been a great experience. COVID really gave me the opportunity to meet a lot of celebrities that I grew up listening music to that I never thought that I'd be there.
Is there a story that you can share of like maybe meeting someone that maybe was surreal to you?
I'm gonna say there was this one event.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I
Gotta
just
protect identities here.
So there's this one artist that had ordered food delivery. I'm not gonna say names because. And they were so mad that their DoorDash order didn't come in quick. They ordered fried chicken before to perform, a rapper.
Okay.
He got pissed off and he didn't perform on the stage until he actually had his fried chicken.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Really?
I've seen stuff like behind the scenes, funny stuff like that.
Wow.
Where like, you know, they act like, well, I want my stuff before I perform. I mean,
se
ponen los moños. Like they'll start at, I mean, it's cute and, you know, it's kind of cute too at the same time because, I mean, you're entitled to because you got into that fame, you know?
Yeah, but it goes back to one of those things like, hey, you just, in Espanol, in Spanish, they have this saying that the world, I guess el mundo da muchas ruedas. You know?
Yeah.
Kind of, you never know what's going to happen later on in life. That one day you can be at the top. The next thing you know, you can be at the bottom. So you have to be very, I guess, humble in a sense, right?
And another story, it's not really funny, but it's more like realistic, like the struggle that I would say that I've been through. Like when I performed during a COVID at the Hard Rock for the Latin Grammys in Las Vegas in 2021. It's basically 5 or 6 red carpets that I have to go back to. And I got the staff, the crew with me, helping me change, helping me do the wardrobe change. But I'm changing not in a hotel. I'm changing like on the car. Like I have my friend driving and I'm in the back seat changing and she's retouching my makeup because you have no time.
Yeah.
And if you ever been to Vegas, you know, the hotels are like either sometimes 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away or next door. You got to be changing. You can't be walking with heels. So it's, it can get the struggle is real when it comes to being an artist. Like sometimes you do not have the time. Sometimes you don't, like, you know, with you, if we have guests, we got to be quick with the podcast. If we have an event, go here, go there. I mean, time is very precious when it comes to all that. So I appreciate everyone who, you know, takes the moment like you for having us in your podcast studio. Because, you know, I know everyone's busy.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody's, and I feel like, especially here, I'm not sure if it's a California thing, but I know San Diego, LA area, life is so fast, right?
No, LA traffic's the worst.
Except for the freaking traffic, right? But just life in general, right? It's so fast paced.
I think LA's quicker though.
You think so?
Fast paced. I think like living there would be hectic.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to live there because most of all the events, of course, they're there.
It'd be convenient.
Yes, it would be convenient, but it would also be very, what would be the word? Like very stressful. Like,
hectic. Chaotic.
Yeah, chaotic.
It is. It's
like the real Hollywood world. We'd be able to handle it, but it'd be too much.
Yeah.
Like with work and everything.
No, you got to find peace. And if you can't find peace, then what do you have? Nothing.
Yeah. And for you, Drew, so when you guys linked up, pretty much not only you guys are a couple, right? I don't want to ruin it. So that's a couple, and then now starting this pretty much endeavor between you guys. Have you ever came up with like a surreal moment or meeting somebody that you never thought of you meeting before?
You know, I think knowing that she talked to Snoop Dogg, and I'm a big fan of Snoop Dogg, I think it's cool how he had all that connections with the gangs and everything in the music industry and in the, you know, basically movies, and what he's done in his career. I think that's pretty cool that she's been able to hang out with him. Yeah,
definitely. So you were able to actually like hang out with him?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Exhibit. Yeah, for, you know, good like 30 minutes behind the scenes. I mean, they got to be on stage. I mean, no one really has time to chit chat and talk sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
It's, you know, concerts, events, flying to other stuff. Who else? Too Short. Too Short.
really?
I would always love Too Short. And when I
hilarious.
got to meet him, it was like, yes, Mr. You know the songs, right?
No, I don't. Which
Yeah.
one?
Oh.
Just like, yeah.
It's too vulgar to say.
Yeah.
But
Get
yeah.
demonetized.
And I started off with música regional mexicano. I've met Pedro Rivera. Those are the first people that I've gone to interview and work with. If I see Jenny Rivera, Chiquis, la hija de Jenny Rivera. Let's see what other good artists. Ninel Conde, she was there opening the act when I was also performing for the Latin Grammys 2021. A lot of good artists. I mean, Larry Hernandez, I'm a big fan. They're very humble. Honestly, Gerardo Ortiz. Let's see who else. El Mimoso.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So one of the guys that I do a podcast with, Daniel Luna, that's actually that guy right there. He actually recorded a song, and Gerardo, well, he made a song and he performed the song, and then Gerardo Ortiz ended up recording the song. It's called El Ivancillo.
Is Daniel Luna a compositor? He's a songwriter?
It's songwriter and singer, yeah. But he came out like in a show that it was pretty famous on TV. Tengo Talento?
Tengo mucho talento.
Yeah, Tengo Talento, mucho
Okay,
talento.
yeah, that's why his name rings a bell.
Yeah. So he came up there. He was one of the, like the
cool.
finalists. Yeah,
that's good.
And he's the one that comes to the podcast with me like almost like once a month at least.
Yeah,
so.
I see him always on your reels.
yeah. He's a funny guy. So now with what you guys are doing right now, is that something you guys are going to continue doing, like the red carpet events?
Yes.
Or what's your guys' goal with all of that?
Yeah, we're going to continue with the red carpet events. We do have many. We haven't actually spoken to like TV shows or radio yet, so you'll have the exclusive. There is a big red carpet event that's coming up on April 27th on a Saturday at Plaza La Raza in Los Angeles, California. Beautiful venue with the lake view. It's going to be the first ever VIP awards. We will be getting an award, we were told.
What?
And we are going to be walking the red carpet. I can give you the details if you want to go. Yeah. It's going to be amazing. It's banquet hall, elegant. It's going to be great. Lynn May is going to be there. Many influencers, politicians. It's going to be great. They have expected to have more than 1,000 people. So that's one of the biggest red carpets. And then we also have in Del Mar, Industry Connection 104 with Melissa and Roberto Barone. So basically, Industry Connection is kind of like, we love those type of events because it's networking with business, leadership, entrepreneurship. And Drew can get more into that because that's more what he does when we host like motivation events. So, but Industry Connection is a great place that Roberto Barone has created, the CEO, for networking, having the ability of sharing your talent, an opportunity to collab with other people, just networking, because that's very important, especially in Los Angeles, in the industry. But he's bringing it to the first time ever for Cinco de Mayo weekend on Saturday, May 4th to Del Mar, California, Industry Connection 104. Nice. So you guys can click on the link on my bio. You guys, it's going to be a brunch too. So
nice.
Breakfast, champagne, red carpet. Nice. You should definitely come. You're invited. It's going to be a great time. Nice. And you're not that far from Del Mar, so.
No, it's not at all. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it out. Hell yeah. So you guys are gonna be doing that, and then you guys are gonna pretty much be continuing your guys' podcast, like what you guys are doing right now.
Yes. Exactly. Every Thursday we have a new podcast, and between podcast events, our live. The real estate, because I also work with him for his company in regards to marketing and stuff like that. So it's great to experience this with someone that you love and that accepts you and supports you and
Yeah. Well, why do you think that's very important?
Because it would make it hell. Straight up. I mean,
why is that?
If I always tell her, I thank her so much because you don't create a whole lot of problems in the relationship. I mean, come on.
Especially being a Latina.
I mean, exactly. A little firecracker. Caliente, muy fuego. But nonetheless, I mean, I always thank her because you don't create a whole lot of problems. I mean, of course, there's always a little, bump in the road every now and then. But nonetheless, I mean, if you have problems in your personal life, you can't have a successful business life. Or whatever it is, whatever your career is. If you're having problems in your personal life, it typically reflects into whatever you're trying to build.
But how is that having somebody like Estrella make that difference for you though?
Oh, I mean, if she's when I have a bad day, it's great to come home and be next to somebody that doesn't create problems and wants to make my world better. Yeah. Like it's a team effort. And, sometimes, you're a guy, you understand. Sometimes we get pissed off. Things happen. People take money, you lose money in a deal, blah, blah, blah.
And I do tell Drew a lot, like, I'm here to make your life simpler. I'm a very true believer in regards to, like, if my man is out there working hard, like, I want him to come home to a peace, safe spot where he can talk to me. Like, if you want
to a home.
Like, yeah, like, I want him to feel like if he needs to yell at someone or vent, I tell him just let it out. Like, I'm here. Like, he's like, no, I don't want to yell. I'm like, let it out.
Yeah. And why do you think that's important to let it out?
Because, and I've personally in the past been through, like, when you accumulate so much thing and you don't feel comfortable with someone talking, that builds up and that bubble is going to eventually explode. And when it explodes, it gets effed up.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like if you can't really be yourself with someone, it's not there. So this is why, like, with Drew, it's like I see him as my best friend, business partner, collabing together. I honestly couldn't feel more blessed because I really feel like I'm talking to a best friend and hanging out without being judged. And at the end of the day, I know he's like the shoulder I can cry on, if anything.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel.
Because in business, we're getting outside of our comfort zones every day. And so imagine, you're doing something that already makes you feel weak or something. Maybe it's cold calling, maybe it's sales or whatever it is. Doing something to stretch yourself. And imagine coming home to your spouse or your significant other and they're bitching at you, they're complaining at you, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe he's yelling at you or whatever the situation is. But nonetheless, I mean, how can you have a successful life if that's your base, that's your fortress of solitude?
Right. Yeah, especially because life is hard in general, right?
Yeah.
So now coming home where you're supposed to feel at home, right, at peace, sure. And then you have a rough day coming back home, and then now you have somebody even causing you to have even a worse day, you know? Just
Yeah, no, it wouldn't make sense, and it wouldn't be fair for him, giving that type of shit. But I'm very traditional. Like, people see me outgoing and that I can look a little bit rough sometimes, a little bit bitchy, mean, but it's the red hair. But honestly, it's like I'm truly like
she's a teddy bear.
I'm a teddy bear. Yeah,
she's great.
No, like, for example, like I'm very traditional. Like, I really like the value of, like, I'll cook for you, like, I'll take care of you, like, nurturing, because I mean that's what I grew up into. You know what I mean? Like, the values and the morals. So that's what I think that I still hold as a traditional and Latina.
Where do you think you got that from?
My mommy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And you know what? Nowadays, I feel like it's very rare to even hear that, right? Because a lot of the times, women want to be like at the same level as a man, right? That they're even afraid to say that, oh, I'm traditional, like do this, I take care of my man.
We talk about that very much. Yeah,
Those
totally.
roles, man. Yeah. Those
totally.
Roles, I mean.
Well, we can talk about now, feminism.
Yeah.
That, sometimes it's like, oh, I won't cook for you. I won't lift this. No. I'm a strong, independent woman. And I used to think, like, being strong, I mean, it's not bad. If you have your job and you have this, it's good that you're very strong and independent. But the mindset changes because, like, I think when you say I'm a strong, independent woman and I don't need no man, it's like, I used to say that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to say that before, but I wasn't a bitch. I wasn't mean. I wouldn't be rude to someone, right? But knowing someone you have a real man, you don't say that, because I love being able to be feminine and a woman, knowing, like, this is something, it's like when I'm alone, like at work, of course, my mind is working 24/7, how to resolve this problem, how to resolve this issue. When I'm with him, I want my mind to be clear and blank, because I know he's got everything under control. I know I'm safe with him. So I can be la la land over here when I'm with him, but then the strong independent can be when I'm, like, solo.
Yeah.
And when we're together, because I know he knows what he's doing and he sees me and he's gotten my tips of the media world, because he gets tips from me in media. I get tips from him in entrepreneurship and leadership. Nice. Putting that together, I feel it's like, boom.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that you separated, like, when you're at work, you have to be a specific way. You have to be pretty much a go-getter. But when it comes down to being at home, right? You let yourself to be feminine.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's good.
Yeah.
Because
I like it because, I mean, honestly, I'll tell you, because she gets to go be that masculine self that most women have today, unfortunately. Whether one way or another, you had to be tough today to survive. And she gets it all out at work, and then when she's at home, she's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. And we had a podcast about this. I don't know if you saw it, about talking about, like, I used to be an alpha female.
Okay.
So when it's like, damn, that shit gets tiring.
Okay.
It does. And I can tell you from experience, it gets tiring.
Really?
You want to be a woman.
Okay. What would you say would be the most tiring thing of being an alpha female?
Trying to take things control. Like if there's problems with the house, problems with the car, financial struggles, it's up to you to find out, and you can't count with someone. Or you can't even talk to someone.
Yeah.
So it's like being single.
Right.
But, you know, taking care of a kid. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
lonely.
it's like saying, like, you're alone. You're with someone, but you're really alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had this deep on conversation, and actually that video hit a lot of views because a lot of people wouldn't expect for me to say that because of what I do, being in the media, being an only child, and always working, because I've been working since I was 16 in law firms and finance, disputing debt with credit cards, charge-offs, and all of that. So, you know, type of, I don't want to say masculine jobs, but type of like sales calls, you know, type of jobs that a woman wouldn't typically go for,
Right.
to handle like calls from people being pissed at you. And I can take that. I like confrontation when it comes to business, but when it comes to personal, I like being feminist.
Yeah.
Like, not feminist, being feminine.
Yeah, yeah. And for me, I can relate, right? I think I've mentioned this in the past that there's times when I wake up early every day, right? But when I wake up early and I see my girl Cello, when she's like laying down like all peaceful and stuff, or vice versa at night, late at night, if she's going to sleep earlier than me and I'm still over here grinding, and I see her just laying down being like at peace, makes me feel good as a man, because I'm taking care of her, you know?
Exactly.
You created the fortress here.
Exactly.
It makes
safe.
you feel like you're doing
It's
a
a
good
safe
job.
place.
And
for her.
it's nature in reality.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. We're all animals at the end of the day. At
the end of the
you
day.
got to create your little fortress to protect everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Protect the loved ones.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, I think you had mentioned that you were in a car crash. Is that what?
I was. And that's where we were going to have the inauguration of Shooting Star Media podcast on I think I even invited you. It was January the 25th, and I had the car crash on January 24th.
Oh, no
I
way.
had the whole catering, lasagna, fettuccine, everything. We had like 60 people coming from LA, and it was horrible. I was on my way home back with Drew, and then I crashed right off of, what was it? And we passed through there today too, and it was like
really?
trigger.
Right before Old Town.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost my car and everything.
Wow.
Like, and that was like my dream car when I first, like, because I had it through almost 3 years, Honda Pilot EXL.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, that was my birthday gift to myself when I was 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how was that? Do you even remember how the accident happened?
Yeah, somewhat. Basically, I was on the fast lane. And then, I feel like you're a cop right now. Shoot, it's like going through the whole claimant.
Interrogation
Yeah.
now.
Don't incriminate yourself.
State Farm.
Basically, there's a parked car.
Tell 'em, yeah.
Basically, there was a parked car. And
Wait, a parked car?
No, okay.
Yes.
So there was a car that was already in an accident. So
Gotcha.
there was a 350Z Nissan that was all riced out, dropped down low. At one point everybody likes those things, but man, don't build those things, because one of those screws comes off, boom. That's what happened. The dude lost control of it, put it into the wall. Strella comes going down the freeway 65 miles an hour or less.
I like that.
The car. So imagine if there's a wall here. The car's basically, has its ass hanging out, and Strella just tapped it.
But then I
And-
got scared because there were two people outside in front of
Yes.
that car.
Oh,
What do I do?
man.
Hit the people or
Oh,
try to
that-
hit another car?
I remember
man.
when I was. See, I was.
He came
I was
rushing down.
home, and I basically was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" So I get all these text messages
From another
help.
girl.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So someone's texting me saying, "Help, help! I crashed. It's bad. Come get me." I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And like I was in the bathtub. I was having a relaxing time.
Yeah.
That was the setting, honestly. And I was like, holy shit. So I raced down there. She sent me the location on her phone. And of course, at the time, she didn't have the right phones because one phone doesn't have the speakers. So she had
I had a little iPhone 7 for 7 years. And until recently, Drew bought me a new iPhone. And that iPhone would only work with the speaker on the Bluetooth of my car. Gotcha. So when people were trying to call me, the car was still ringing in the middle of the freeway with the Bluetooth connected.
Wow. So let me ask you this. So when you say somebody else was texting you, it was because you were giving the information?
No. She got my phone. She said unlock it. And I was shocked. I was crying. I was sitting. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that happened to my car, and still no freaking cop had been there yet.
Yeah.
From the prior accident and then mine. They took forever to get there.
Wow.
So I say, like, if the cop would have arrived for the first accident, I would have never crashed because they would have stopped the freeway like they did for me. Now I can all see it like that.
Right.
Yeah. And especially after I saw the police report and everything, the first car loses control. They're all teeny boppers. I was the oldest one. I was 30. Everyone else was young.
Wow.
It's like...
So were you stuck in the middle of the freeway when all of this is happening? When somebody's texting Drew or...
I got my phone real quick, left everything else. I kicked the door, lifted up the airbag, and got out. And I started crossing Angel without looking at the freeway. Because I was trying to get to... I wasn't focusing, but I guess everyone saw that I crashed so they had stopped. But, I don't know that. And I just crossed the freeway like, oh, I'm going to cross here like a chicken, like nothing.
Wow.
But, yeah, and it was scary. Like, now looking at everything, it's like, yeah, I do get some triggers sometime. After that accident, it's been, what are we, in March? About almost going on 2 months on the 24th of this month of March. Like, I still haven't driven a car.
Oh, really?
I have not driven a car yet.
Wow. Well, why is that though? Do you feel like are you scared of like just being behind the wheel?
I don't think it's being the scare. It's just like, this is why I have my man too. but see, like honestly, like we were talking about, it's like, damn, I really feel like a girl right now. Like, thanks for driving me here and there, and I like that. No, but honestly, I work from home too.
Okay.
So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes it convenient.
Yeah, it makes it convenient, but I do like that we drive together and he drives, so that's cruising
I'd let
around.
her drive my car, but it's a stick shift.
Yeah,
So,
he has this Mustang, so.
Not going to let someone, teach someone how to drive stick after they just wrecked a car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Learn how to drive automatic again.
Yeah, that's crazy. But do you feel like you would still be scared to get behind the wheel?
Maybe.
Yeah, more than likely.
I think yes. I would feel like I would be like a brand new driver. And I was a very excellent driver. I get it from my dad. My dad worked with NASA and then also did like truck driving with 18-wheelers. And he had an accident in an 18-wheeler about 22 years ago. He went flying out the window literally of the trailer. Wow. Yeah, it was scary. Like, I don't know how he survived that, but he did. And he's now 80 years old, still alive. And, some memories go away and, that happens at that age. But like, thank God nothing happened to him. And then thank God nothing happened to me. Yeah. And
did you go to the hospital?
I did. They sent me to trauma. That's why I was freaking out.
Just to be on the safe side, right?
Yeah, because I was bruised up. I had my seatbelt on. For having my seatbelt on, I got pucked up everywhere, bruises. Yeah. I was in a wheelchair for 3 weeks, and then I used a walker. I wasn't wearing heels. I wasn't doing events. Everything with our publicists, like everything paused. Like honestly, like I disappeared from social media like for a month and 1 week without posting. And they're like, what's going on? Like, because people aren't used to that.
We had a lot of momentum going up to that point. We had a big event the next day. Holy shit.
Yeah. And until then, we still need a new date for our inauguration.
It was scary because we didn't know what was happening. In hindsight, it's like, hey, it was, it was easy. We were able to cancel the event. It wasn't the end of the world. Right. We got, but in the moment, you're like, holy shit, there's all these pressing things that we have to do while trying to take care of Strella.
Yeah, they put me in immediate and CT scans for, hemorrhagia. If I had like blood going inside me, internal bleeding. Luckily I had no broken bones, but I was bruised up and I couldn't walk. Literally, Drew had to lift me up to go to the bathroom, like from the living room. I took a week off from work. It was the most horrible pain that I could have. Horrible. And then I thought, it's going to sound a little bit exaggerated, but I really thought that something had happened to me in the accident where I didn't make it, because I literally saw like lights explode in front of me, but I didn't know that airbags had like dust or like something. And then he's explaining, because I've never been in a severe car accident. And then he took me to Otay Mesa to go see the car, to take some belongings. Everything was destroyed.
Do you have pictures of the car crash?
I do.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, can you send them to me?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And then imagine a car being filled with pasta, fettuccine, lasagna, and being in there for a month with no window open. Like when I went to go pick up my purse, well, I really couldn't save anything because everything was filled with pasta. Damn. Like literally I had filled like spaghetti and fettuccine all over me after the accident, but I wasn't really like noticing it, right?
Right.
But literally I had chicken in my hair, chicken in my armpits everywhere. It was funny, but yeah, I mean, it's funny now.
Yeah.
But it stank. The car, like, yeah, you can see the pictures and the images. But that was, I mean, I'll get my car again. It's all material, you know, at the end of the day.
It's all bent metal.
And then honestly, like...
So in a case like that, are you still going through your insurance and trying to fight that case? Or
it's kind of weird because, like, in the police report, it doesn't say who's at fault. It's, like, really vague and really gray.
Right.
And then when I call, you know how, like, insurances are. So recently what I knew after a month, literally until, like, 4 days ago, I called, like, what's going on? Oh, we haven't sent your settlement check for the car yet. What? And the bank's over here calling me like payment. I'm like, oh,
you gotta harass those guys.
You have to harass them.
Get on the insurance people like they get on top of you for those payments.
You would figure, right? An insurance company is there to protect you and for them to like, hey, you know what? We'll take care of it from now.
Yeah.
But man, it's such a hassle.
Can I tell you the truth? What I feel like?
Yeah.
I even told my mom and Drew, like, what's the point of having insurance then?
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
no
what is the point?
Yeah. And at the same time, you're paying monthly, right? And then when you do get in a car accident or whatever, you still have to pay the deductible. Yep. So it's like, why am I paying every single month for, right?
Yeah. Like, what if I don't have the deductible?
Yeah.
I mean, how else could you do the insurance, though? I mean, listen, this is an opportunity for somebody to figure out how to do insurance where it doesn't have all that bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, I think these big companies have such a big monopoly on everything that it's hard to break into that as a small business.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like they just got advantage that it became a requirement, right? That now they just pretty much take advantage and just pocket all the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've gone through two or three different accidents when somebody else has been at fault. Mm-hmm. And just to even like try to like be at 50-50 liability or whatever, it's such a hassle, even though I wasn't even at a fault, right? Exactly. They tell me, oh, you have to go through the other person's insurance if you want to file their claim, because if you go through us, you have to pay the deductible. And in case you do win the case, then we'll pay you and reimburse you later.
All this garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm over here like, I still haven't gotten billed yet. But I'm like, who's going to pay my medical expenses, man?
Listen, own an insurance company. That's the scam. That's the rap.
It really is. It really is, man.
But I mean, I'm here. We're talking.
Yeah. And how do you see life differently now? Or do you even see life differently?
No, I do.
Yeah?
What's changed? The whole time, like, Drew was in my mind, like, no, not today. I'm not dying. Wow. This can't happen. We have so many projects. Like, when I saw him, he was like, I saw him running from the 5 South, because I was on the 5 North going north. And the cops didn't let him, so he parked the car down south. In that part of the freeway, it's like a little bridge, and he has to run. And then I saw, it was like a movie. I think that was the best part of the accident. Not the best part, but like when you see your man running for you to try to do something, but then the cops won't let him go.
If somebody has this on a car camera or something, send in the video footage. Let's see if we can make it a movie.
And then I get in the ambulance, and they're like, do you need an ambulance? I'm like, no, I don't know. Like, I was still in shock, and then the cops over here trying to talk to me. How fast were you going? Were you using your phone? Give me your license. But, like, I'm like, huh? What? No. And then I was on my phone texting him. I'm like, here. And he's like, stop using your cell phone. I need to tell my boyfriend that I'm alive. excuse me. And then they put me in the ambulance with the whole like neck brace. They took me to, when they said she's going to trauma for a severe injury, I'm like, that's when I started crying. And he's like, where are you? I'm in the ambulance. So he followed the ambulance. He got yelled out by the security at the hospital. They took me by Hillcrest. And then I heard that they were yelling at him not to go. And I'm like, no, the Mustang, no, he's with me. He's with me. And like, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then he's at the lobby. And then I got released about like 10 hours later. And then he picked me up. And then I just knocked out.
And you know what? You said something key that it caught my attention, right? Cops, in those moments, you would figure that they should be looking out for the person's well-being, right? But they're more worried about
building a case.
Exactly.
And you should
guys, I mean, God, the cops, it's hard today. I mean, I feel like ever since 2020, they feel like they have to stick it to us. Whatever we did to them, I don't know what the fuck, but I mean, the cops aren't the same that they were 10 years ago. Yeah. I don't know how long you guys have been here, but I mean, growing up here in San Diego, like the cops used to help people. I mean, I'm not saying all cops are bad because that's not the truth. I mean, there are good cops and there's bad cops out there, but I mean, most of them have egos. You go up and try to have a conversation with them. You know, they're all buffed up, all this bullshit. I think they're taking TRT. Their wives are getting pissed off at them for whatever reason, blah, blah, blah. And they take it out on the streets. And it's a bunch of garbage and bullshit. Yeah. You know, protect and serve, not to ticket and collect.
I agree, right? I still recall, I don't know how much of an age difference we have, right? But I still recall as a kid, you would want to go up to the cops and ask them for a sticker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the sticker. I remember.
And now I feel like all of that has been gone.
Because you would see them as heroes before.
Right.
Which is now it's like...
They were crime fighters. They were idolized as kids.
Exactly. As a kid, don't you recall everybody wanted to be a cop?
Yes.
Or a firefighter?
It was heroic. It was something, you know, that your parents would be like, oh, little Johnny wants to be a police officer or a firefighter or whatever. You know, now it's like, oh, you want to be, why do you want to be a cop? Like,
it's like, oh no, the cops are coming, stay away, run!
Yeah,
the 5-0, baby.
Yeah, and not that you're doing a crime, but you're scared, right?
I think they use the uniform for intimidation.
Yeah.
That's my humble opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, not to blame them completely, right? Because I feel like there's been a lot of live events that have happened throughout, like, society and things like that.
During COVID.
Yeah, right? And that they have to kind of protect themselves, but they need to remember why they wanted to be a cop in the first place.
Exactly.
I've got a situation or a story.
Yeah.
I got to protect the names and protect these people. But there was a police officer who once was in the force here in California. And him and his family, they moved into Tennessee. And, you know, the police officer and his wife had about 2 children, and they're very Christian family, blah, blah, blah. And the police officer got on the force where they were in Tennessee. And long story short was he started hanging out at one of these gyms, and he picked up one of the college, cheerleaders or whatever, and started having an affair and all this stuff. And then long story short is he gets kicked off the force and all this stuff while his wife is pregnant with like a 4th or 5th child. I mean, that's the shit that police officers are going through every single day. And now that's just an example. I mean, how many police officers are there? I mean, how many professional baseball players are there? Not a whole lot. If every police officer had to be as good as a professional baseball player, I mean, there would be no false shootings. I mean, superhero movies would be like police officers.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, I'm assuming you guys feel the same way, right? That, like we said, the cops used to be looked upon as, you said, heroes and things like that, but now you were saying earlier, like, oh shit, the cops are coming. Yeah. So you're
even if you're innocent, it's like
even
you feel
if you're
intimidated.
innocent, because one moment can steer the whole freaking situation around, right? Even if you're innocent, right? I think back in the days, well, even till now, right? You're supposed to be innocent till proven guilty, but I think all of that is out the door.
You're guilty until proven innocent.
Isn't?
Yeah. It's crazy how times have changed.
This world that we live in, it's different, Angel.
I call it the Matrix.
Like, honestly, sometimes, like I tell Drew, like, all the time, I don't know how you feel about this, but being, like, I like how you're always direct and stuff. Like, sometimes I feel like, what if this is really, like, we're a TV show for someone, like the Truman Show.
Yeah,
have you seen the Truman Show? Like,
that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I was like, well, what do you guys want me to do today? Do I get the lottery today, or what's up? Like, what if someone is like, we're puppets? Like, sometimes.
Am I a character in your guys' life right now?
Absolutely. Every day's a movie. Honestly, I feel like life's Grand Theft Auto without the killing.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm playing Grand Theft Auto 5. I've got all my cars. I got all my penthouses, all that stuff,
It's about upgrading your character in a video game. But in real life, I see a lot of people nowadays that love video games, guys especially, and they play and they save so much money to upgrade the car, the wheels, the stereo, everything, but they won't apply that to their real life.
That's right.
Why do you have a motivation in a video game but you don't have the motivation to do that on your own life?
Facts.
Dang. Fire, man.
I'm telling you, I get intense sometimes. Yeah. I gotta shut up.
Definitely. I agree. And the thing is that, at least from my end, I have the same mentality, right? I want to continue progressing and leveling up, right? And at times, don't get me wrong, because I used to, as a little kid, I used to be a gamer, right? I used to like have Nintendo 64 and all of that. And at times I miss that part because I want to go back and tap into my childhood, right? So I try to play in like maybe like 30 minutes here and there. I think this whole year probably played like maybe 2 hours or something, but I forced myself to try to play because I'm working so much, right? But I feel guilty even doing that. Why? Because I feel like there's so much work to do that I don't want to even like lose time on something like that.
You don't want to feel lazy.
Yes.
But you're really not feeling lazy because you're being productive.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just playing video games all day and you're not even using that to make content or monetizing like people on Twitch, that's different. You got to give them props for like streaming 15 hours, but they get banked.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But if you're just doing it just to be lazy,
but that's a small percentage that are actually doing that. The rest of the people are just spectators.
That's right. Your Xbox or your PlayStation, whatever your system was, your Nintendo 64, it's there just to remind you of your childhood, of the good times. And sometimes you got to go tap back into it. I call it grabbing something out of the cookie jar. Get a cookie from the cookie jar, put it in your mouth, chew the cookie, boom, you're back to work.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I did with just recently over my holiday break, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, like I called my cousin, like, hey, let's make some time to just, like, in reality, the game was just an excuse to be on the phone with him, right? Because we would be playing and we would just be on the phone just to catch up, but at the same time we're playing, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah. But for sure it's one of those things that
it's nostalgic.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you ever get those things on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or wherever, TikTok, of like those nostalgic videos of like Call of Duty or something from the 90s or the 2000s of like when you remember when that cart came out with the TV stand? You knew it was going to be the best day ever at school.
Yeah.
Oh,
you remember that?
Yeah. You're like, you're going to have a good day at school.
Like, imagine like,
nostalgic.
Like, okay, that you're having a baby, right?
Yeah.
And people who are going to have kids, the new generation, they're like, oh, Dad, what was COVID? Or what kind of video game was Grand Theft Auto? You know, stuff in the past. There's this meme or this video that we watch. It's like, I can't tell you. It's like no words. Like
Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't talk about it.
Yeah. It's just crazy. But a lot of things, even right now that he said, a lot of like the new generation, they're going to grow up with a lot of things that have changed now with society. For them, it's going to be the norm. But for us,
oh my God,
currently right now, we're trying to stop it, right? From all the different things that they're trying to implement into society, into the music industry, so many different things that us right now. But it's crazy, right? Because we see a lot of things that are being done that are wrong. Yeah. And we're like, no, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like that. But guess what? Come the future will come that we're going to be older and our generation is going to get wiped out. And for them, that's going to be the norm.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
but that's why, like, I mean, once my daughter's here, and it's just like even me saying that is just surreal because
Is it still like in shock for you?
yeah, because for me, somebody being a dad, it's like something out of a movie, right? Like, oh,
Yeah.
he's a dad. But now I'm like, wait, I'm going to be a dad? I can't believe it until like, I guess until it actually happens. But one of my main goals is going to be just morals, teaching her morals,
Yep.
morals.
Values.
Yeah, morals and values, definitely.
Because
Just teach her to
that's-
be the best in, like, the best teacher self-confidence. That's what I try to do with my niece, my goddaughter, and I try to help them and just instill, just grow in yourself, love yourself first.
Yeah. And you know what? Something that I really, really want to implement that I feel like it's not really preached upon is public speaking.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to do podcasting, right? Because
Yes.
it gets you out of your comfort zone to talk to complete strangers, right? To be able to like put yourself in the internet of talking and giving your perspective on things, right? Because guess what? You're going to get criticized. You're going to get made fun of.
Yeah.
But all of that is just people in the sidelines.
I say you got to be able to talk to people from Yale to jail, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
Yale
agree.
to jail.
This is-
people that are getting out of jail and people are with that intellectual.
This is why we decided to create, honestly, a Shooting Star Media podcast, a safe spot where people can actually go ahead and comment their feelings, because sometimes people are afraid to say what they really want to say and the truth, which this is why I guess some people would say that we talk about controversial topics, right? You've seen our topics and that, but a lot of people, Drew likes to say this, that they're not really controversial topics. It's like we like speaking the truth, but obviously we're not professionals. We're not psychologists, psychiatrists, or anything, but we talk about the life experiences that we've been through.
We're just talking about our truths, and I mean it's crazy that we have to call it controversial subjects because honestly, I feel like the political correctness is the manifestation of lack of self-esteem.
Right.
Because I mean, honestly, guys, I mean, we're such a weak society at this point.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel the same way about like controversial topics. Same thing as like conspiracies, right? They label certain things to devalue certain topics, right?
Yeah.
Like earlier right now you were saying, oh, we're in the Matrix. Why do you say that? Are you a believer that we truly are in a Matrix?
100%. I mean,
And can you expand a little bit of that?
yeah, I mean, it's about the have-nots and the have-yots.
Okay.
Like we're all in a basically society of what we can produce. In the Matrix, in the movie, it was all about warmth and what basically our world is what all we can produce in tax dollars, because it's all about what we can produce in businesses, what we can do with slaves. I always say to you, why did they get rid of slavery? They didn't get rid of slaveries. They just relabeled it as employees. In the Industrial Revolution in 1950s, when all these big companies and all these big corporations, they needed employees. So right before that, what happened? The Great Depression and all that stuff, and everybody went to their job, that just over broke. So everybody needed a job because everybody was wiped out. Before that, in the 1920s, 1930s, people had blacksmithing jobs or professions like that. It was like niche specific. It wasn't very like, oh, I work for Amazon, I work for Google, I work for Apple. It wasn't all that stuff.
Yeah, they say that their best tactic is to have slavery or the slave not knowing that they're a slave.
That's
Exactly.
Right.
Making them feel like they're actually doing them a favor.
Yeah.
By giving them food and shelter.
Yeah.
And what do we do with our paycheck? We get food, shelter, rent, and all of that.
So similar to cattle, right? They get fed, right? But you never think, or they never think that the person that's feeding them is gonna, at the end of the day, take them to the slaughterhouse.
That's right.
Exactly.
It's the sheep mentality.
So that's why we created Shooting Star Media podcast. And honestly,
Bring awareness.
The first event that we did red carpet for us under Shooting Star Media podcast is we wanted to have a live audience, right? Like talk shows. Talk about, that was motivation, speaking with confidence and leadership. And it went really well, and this is why we wanted to do the January, but then the accident got in the way. So the one in the accident was going to be talking about the 3 C's. The 3 C's were choices, changes, and what was the other one? Spaced out.
Choices, changes, and consequences?
No. Chances.
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 Okay, say it again.
Choices, chances. Oh my God.
Choice.
The beer
We gotta
game,
run
guys.
this back. Choices, consequences.
No. Choices, chances.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was the 3 C's that we were
Okay.
talking about, right?
Okay.
And change.
Okay,
Changes.
okay, so say it again.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Angel. Change, choices.
And confidence?
Yes. This is what happens when you drink on a
Yeah.
podcast. And
Change, choices, confidence.
yes. Yeah,
Got it.
so that's
Okay, now let's say it with confidence.
Boom. Choice.
I know
the
the
3
irony.
C's.
Yeah, so the 3 C's, that's what the live podcast was going to be about. Because a lot of people are shy to talk about because they think they're going to be judged right away. That's
Yeah.
what I've noticed. A lot of people don't follow their dreams because they're afraid of the getting out of the comfort zone.
Definitely.
That bubble. You need to get out of the bubble. So what I am a stronger believer is that if I see potential in you, I want you to see that potential in you. But Drew and I have experience with people, and we've noticed that sometimes it's sad that we believe in someone and we see a lot of potential in them, and we actually are very optimistic, but they don't see that. And it's like sometimes it's like we want it for them, but they don't even want it.
That's my life story. I pretty much say that every single day to somebody, right? I'm always like, man, you guys are made like under God's freaking vision, creation. You guys are meant for greatness, but a lot of the times they don't see that potential in themselves. And it comes to a point that if they don't want it, you can only do so much.
It's
You
one of the
can-
hardest
yeah.
things about leadership. When you want it more than they want it, that's when failure is going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah,
You know?
most definitely. So everything you just said, I stand by it 100%.
Oh, thank you.
I literally, I'm always encouraging my inner circle to like, man, you have so much potential.
Yeah.
You can do this, you can do that. And a lot of the times they don't see it in themselves.
This is why it's always good to have, especially us in the industry, or like with ideas and creativity. Like sometimes people are afraid to say creativity ideas because you're afraid, oh, they're going to take this idea from me and they're going to fuck me over. This is why you have to choose wisely, like not only in relationships, but in friends.
Your inner circle.
Because your inner circle, there's this story about the coins and that you tell me
yeah.
about the quarters.
What would you rather have, 100 pennies or 4 quarters? It equals the same amount in dollars, but value-wise, would you rather have 100 people around you that aren't very valuable, or would you rather have 4 people that are just, your brothers, your sisters, your people?
I like that. I like that because if you really think about it, right, you have same value because of at the end of the day, maybe the 100 pennies equal to the same amount, but each individual is only worth 1 penny.
That's
In
right.
comparison to the 4
Exactly.
quarters. Each one, it's the value of each one is more.
And when you're leading like an army and when you're trying to do big things, maybe in real estate, media, whatever you're trying to do, I like to work in platoons. I don't like to work in big armies. Like if you got a lot of people, you got a lot of different personalities, you got a lot of different opinions, all this stuff. So I like to work small. I like to work with a few select group of people. Keep it tight.
I like that.
And I think it's like, especially if it's big projects, keep the same people around you.
Yeah.
Because when you add someone new, it can mess up everything.
True.
Because unfortunately in this, not only in the business world, in the media, being an artist or regular jobs, if you're like giving your all potential as a doctor, as a therapist and stuff like that, there's going to be envy.
Yeah.
Whether you're friends
Big
or
time.
not.
Big
So
time.
unfortunately,
They wanna
I've come across
backstab
so
you,
many people who said that they were my friend and ended up backstabbing me.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's sad. You just got to be careful. That's why I'm very, very selective and very picky when it comes to meeting new people. Like, especially girls, when they're more envy, they're like, instead of supporting the girls, they want to go like, no, I'm gonna make her not shine so I can shine higher.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that competition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, choose wisely.
Do you believe in sharing your next project prior to it happening, or do you rather do the project?
I like to show.
I like to share.
Okay.
I
share first?
I would like to share and talk about it, but not fully into detail, because I
Okay.
do believe in manifestation.
Okay.
I like to market it, but I like to show.
Okay,
Like
so-
I like to talk about the things I've done.
Okay. Because the reason why I ask is because before I used to like to document, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and like follow the journey.
Document the process.
Right.
Like Gary V.
Exactly. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know if it's just been a personal thing that I've gone through, but I realized that a lot of the times, a lot of people do have bad energy.
Yeah.
And since you're speaking this into like fruition, a lot of people are like they're sending the bad vibes and energy that I feel like it creates a blockage.
You have to get those people. Can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah,
You got to get those people the fuck away from
Right.
you. I mean, straight up, like cut them off.
Yeah.
Like get them away from you, because they're just sucking the energy and sucking the dream out of you.
Yeah.
And the more people you have around those are the 100 pennies. Get rid of them. Find 4 quarters.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So now I changed my mindset. I guess I can say I still do a little bit in between, right? But until it actually happens, let's say if I'm going to be doing a special project, I won't talk about it until the actual project like actually started.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I do have something pre-recorded, then I'll start sharing it then, right?
I like what you do is you record everything like as it's happening, and then she releases it. Right?
Exactly.
I've been thinking about, I'm sure you saw it with Gary V, how he's like document the process,
Yep.
day 1, day 2, day 3. And I think you can get a lot of recognition from that. But what about if you just actually do record all of it, but don't release it, but then release it as you're
Little by
farther
little.
along?
Exactly.
Behind.
That's
Behind
that's
this-
exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
excellent. Because if you start talking about it before it starts happening, for some reason, I feel like, to my experience, people create a blockage for you, and at times it doesn't come into fruition.
I mean, you're right about the bad energy. I believe in that. I mean,
Yeah.
not maybe like into too much detail, like with voodoo and stuff like
Right,
that. But I
right.
do believe like people can because of manifestation. If they're gonna manifest, oh, I hope she does bad. I hope she does bad. Oh, yes, she missed it, or she didn't get the casting call and all that stuff. Like that shit exists.
yeah.
Yeah, they start throwing stones at your empire.
Or maybe not like voodoo stuff like that, but at work, trying to do the blame on you, or telling you do this. The boss wants you to do this, making you think other stuff, and instead
Not
of helping
giving you the lead.
exactly.
Giving the lead to somebody else because you're shining bright over here.
Yeah.
You know, or something.
They
because
try
they're
to
golf
confuse-
buddies or
Yeah.
some bullshit.
Exactly.
It's totem poles.
Yeah, so with Start Media, you said it. So you guys are going to be like encouraging people, doing all of that. But what exactly, or how is it that you guys are going to like make that a reality for people to actually get encouraged? Is there a way that you guys are going to be helping them out, or?
Yeah, with the red carpet events, they have the opportunity to, after our speech, motivational speakers. Sometimes we do have special guests, professionals sometimes that go, or influencers to share their stories. But I want normal people to feel, when I say normal, I mean that they have their regular jobs, have a
Regular.
family,
Yeah.
and they can feel comfortable being around a lot of people with celebrities, and they're just humans at the end of the day. You just got to have the confidence to be able to come up and to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they don't care if you're rich or you're poor. They want someone to have motivation, talk to you, and know what you want. A lot of people sometimes get scared or intimidated. Like, oh, he's rich, I shouldn't talk. And people miss opportunities with jobs or stuff like that, you know?
agree.
But it's really about speaking with confidence. So we like to help people come to our seminars, well, before the accident, but that's in the making. Like, come have a nice Italian catering buffet that's sponsored, here. Our sponsors that help us. I mean, honestly, that's what we like the podcast a lot, because we want people to have a safe place to talk.
Yeah.
We want to try and build a community where people can actually go for their dreams, that their dreams are stuck there and they don't know where to start because they don't know how to talk.
So, man, I really, really feel like you guys stand for the same things that I stand for. Like, seriously,
Okay, cool.
I think that's super, super dope. And like I was saying, for me, that's something that I'm really going to be preaching to my daughter if I have like more kids. public speaking, that confidence to never belittle themselves, right?
I had a great mentor of mine. Early on, he said, when you go to school, get in public speaking.
Yeah.
Get in front of the stage, fuck up,
Yep.
fail miserably. That's how you become successful.
Exactly.
Truly.
Isn't it crazy that public speaking is one of the like worst fears, or the number one fear, like worldwide?
Next to swimming in the ocean.
Right?
I
It's
tell
crazy.
people that they should talk to someone, like talk to your grandma, to your mom, to your best friend.
But that's different, though.
No, I know, but they should take it that way. They should pretend that they're talking to someone.
Oh man, I think that's still different. I don't think it hits the same.
Because they get scared about being judged.
It's
And
the
being
opinion.
judged and to a complete stranger. Yeah, big time. Because if you're talking to somebody that you have that, it's like your safe zone, right? That you have no intimidation, you have nothing to worry about because it's still them. I feel like that would be good practice, right? But nothing compares to actually going up in front of a stage, like you were saying, or talking to complete strangers, like out of the blue, because you're gonna be like, oh man, like, am I using the right words? Or am I looking funny? You're gonna have so many thoughts going
You're
through your head.
overthinking.
Yeah,
So
you're
what you need to
overthinking.
do is you need to stop overthinking and just do it naturally. And if you mess up, it's natural. Just keep going. Don't stop.
Then you get to this point
Exactly.
where you're at like probably our level, where it's like you're comfortable public speaking, and then it's like you don't want your family to be in the crowd listening to you. You want strangers.
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff that you're talking about, because hey, there's there's dream stealers out there too.
Yeah.
Have you you've been on stage and talked to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that all the time?
All the time
In
with
front of
singing,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you think have you ever been nervous before?
I get I don't think it's nervous. I think what I'm telling him is like not anxiety, but like butterflies in your stomach because you're excited with the emotions.
Okay.
I don't think it's nervous. Like, yeah, I mean, it's all mixed emotions, but you're excited. I think the nervous changes. It's more excitement.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I really like the guy. I have butterflies in the stomach. That type of feeling because you like what you're doing. You're motivated. You want to go out there. And honestly, once you get the experience like us or me, like performing or being an MC by, a master of ceremonies and stuff like that, you like it and you crave that adrenaline. To me, it's like I crave it because I'm so used to it. I love it because I feel like I become not someone else, but I'm here to help people, and I want people to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, she has a
endorphins.
point. I thought I was the only one who thought like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, you just got to speak up.
And I think at the end of the day, it's just energy. Either you can use it for your being nervous, or apply it to like be great and just speak your mind.
Feel.
Yeah.
It's going to be your guess.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just energy that's inside of you, just getting ready to be released.
Exactly. You get it.
Yeah, I totally get it, but believe it or not, I'm one of those same people that I am freaking shy. I am scared. The only difference is I put myself out there. That's the only thing. I'm fucking scared of I meet so many freaking strangers on a daily basis. I've met I think the majority of people on the podcast have been like people that I meet the day of the podcast, similar to us right now. And the thing is, till this day, I still get nervous. But the thing is, once you get started, just like us, it just becomes natural.
It flows.
Yep.
Yeah, it flows. But a lot of people won't even put themselves in that situation.
Oh, yeah, no.
They'll put the blockage, right? But I do it. Why? Because I want to better myself.
But they do like watching the gossip.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just fear, false evidence appearing real. But sometimes Elon Musk talks about it. It's good to feel it because it means you're a little bit human.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
if you didn't have fear, I mean, you're not doing anything big.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, like they say, if you the man that's never made a mistake has never tried anything new.
The man that's never made a that's never made a mistake has never tried anything new.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
What's your favorite quote? If you have one.
Oh man,
I'll tell you.
on the spot. Let me.
Think about it. Think
Yeah.
about it. Do you have a favorite quote?
I was waiting
yes.
on him. Oh,
Okay, yeah.
I'm a great believer in luck. I feel the harder I work, the more I have of it. By Abraham Lincoln.
Okay, say that again.
I'm a great believer in luck. I feel the harder I work, the luckier I am.
I always say that. Why? Because you're creating more opportunities for yourself.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
That's right. I mean,
man, I love your guys' energy.
You got to create your own work, or you got to create your own luck.
Yeah.
And I mean, most people think that it's just going to hit you in the face, and it just doesn't. You have to get out there and grind. You have to go to the events, go to your local meetup groups, find something. There's someone out there just like you sitting on TikTok, wherever this is airing. Find somebody, meet with them, record yourselves, post it somewhere, and grow it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about networking, whether it's in person or with social media, that it's free platforms. Now you have the opportunity to share, especially that you guys are watching this right now. If you see this, I mean, if you have a dream, a motivation, and you don't know where to start, you don't really need to know to start. Just grab a camera and do it. Yeah. Just sit there and talk about something, do a little edit. You'll eventually get good at it. I mean, sometimes natural stuff, not editing. It's like some random ass videos on TikTok don't have nothing like editings, and then they go viral because either they're dumb or they're really creative. But I mean, the dumb ones get me. It's like, what am I doing wrong to not get 50 million views?
The thing is that they're uploading.
No, I know.
Yeah.
This is why it is about motivation, being consistent.
Right.
That's right. We talked about this.
Yeah. That's what it is.
That's why now for the podcast, I even told myself, I'm not reviewing it. I'm just like letting it be, because at the end of the day, look how much fun we're having right now. It's a conversation, right? I want that organic sense for people to get that same feeling that we got, right?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but at times I just put a podcast for it to be like background noise. I'm listening, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel part of that conversation.
Yes.
Right?
You feel like you're sitting in the room.
Yeah. And at times I'm like, oh, I want to like respond back to them. You know what I mean? Because you get intrigued with what they're sharing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, did you say a quote? No, you haven't said a quote.
Honestly, right? I can't really say one specific quote. I mean, quotes like throughout, like with lessons and stuff. It's like you really don't. I don't know who quoted it, but I saw one that I thought it was really clever, and you think about it deeply with everything that you've been through as an individual. Yeah. It's like you never know what you have until you lose it. Mm. So if you went through an opportunity, like, for example, me, when I had my TV show in Rosarito, Mexico, that was my fault for getting out of it. Okay. Which sometimes I think like, oh, what if I wouldn't have not stopped at 17? Where would I be now? But I guess like at the end of the day, it's like I learned from it. Look where I'm at now. Yeah. I get to share it with him, and I get to share this on air with you. And it's like, it's all experiences. Yeah. So
it's a journey.
So if someone says, do you regret things that you've done? I can say no, because it's experiences. Mistakes turn into lessons. I don't think it's failure. I think it's like you put one foot in front of another, and you got to keep going with the life lessons that you've been through to better yourself every day.
That's all we can do.
So, yep.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Yep.
That's it. You never lose.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty in life, right? And a lot of people don't want to accept that, or they don't want to go through that because they consider it as failure, but it shouldn't be looked upon that that. Right. Mm-hmm. And just, man, everything you guys said right now, everything your guys' mission and things like that, I feel exactly the same way, that I always want to encourage and be a positive, I guess, virtue for somebody.
You want to make an impact.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like how crazy it is that, let's say, because right now I have a year with the podcast, but.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job, man. Good job.
Yeah. So I have a year with
consistent.
Oh, every week I'm dropping an episode every week. Every day I'm almost. I even forgot to freaking upload right now.
Success leaves, but he's in the middle of the process, guys. Success leaves clues. Yeah. It's not fucking hard. Just do the work. If you want the 6-packs, do the sit-ups. If you want the big chest, do the push-ups. It's not that hard. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nike said it best. Just do it.
Yeah, definitely. There's no. You just have to put in the freaking work.
Yeah,
that's it.
But when it comes to editing, let me ask you something. Yeah. Of course, you're more of an expert than me. But do you ever feel like, for example, like, I don't feel like it's work because you actually enjoy doing it and you have fun?
Yeah. the only thing that I struggle with, I enjoy it, right? The thing that I struggle with the whole editing thing is just time. Because I don't I want to enjoy my life as well, right? And then I do have a partner and things like that, and she respects everything I do, right? The only thing is that at times editing can be time consuming. That I'm like, I know I could be out there and just like either watching a movie or things like that. At times I prefer doing all of this, right? But then I do see other people like just being out and about. I'm like, I wish I could be doing that too. Yep. But I really love what I'm doing. But now I'm getting to the point that with this year of having the podcast, I'm learning how to be faster, how to be more productive. Yeah. And
your time's more valuable.
Yeah. Every day I'm here in the studio because I love it. Going back to what you said.
But you have a good partner that supports you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And you guys do stuff together on the podcast. Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah. And it's like, with her being pregnant, she's still motivated to do it. And that's awesome. Not a lot of people are with the motivation. It's like, oh, that's it.
Yeah. And going back to the first thing that I think it was one of the first things that you guys said at the beginning of the podcast was that you guys were friends before being in a relationship, right? I think I couldn't agree with you more than that, right? Because one of the biggest mistakes now with society is that a lot of the times people get into relationships from a hookup, right? From meeting maybe at a bar, going out 1 or 2 dates, then they get in a relationship, but guess what? They don't even know each other. They're getting to know each other in a relationship, when in reality you should be friends first and see what the person is about, get to know the family first as a friend, right? And then become a partner and become a relationship. But nowadays they do the opposite. That's why there's so many divorces. That's why there's so many fights out there. That's why there's so many...
Too much toxicity.
Yeah, toxicity. That's why there's a lot of single parents, right? Because first they should have gotten to know each other first as friends.
Yeah, because
it's easy to say I do. It's hard to say I don't.
Yeah, because back in the days, a lot of the times, a lot of relationships would be because like, oh, that's my family. Let's say that's my neighbor's cousin, and you get to know the family as friends. People would gather up and getting to know each other. The families would know each other.
Especially the Hispanic community.
Exactly.
It's more organic.
Exactly. Yeah. But now it's just, like I said, people start a relationship through Instagram or whatever, just because they like each other physically or whatever. But once in the relationship, they realize they don't even like each other. And now there's arguments, there's clashing because they were never meant to be together.
Totally know what you mean, man. Yeah. I mean, it's the looks wear off, the sex wears off, all that shit will eventually wear off, Yeah. So you gotta end up with the person that you like. Yeah. And it's not ending up, it's who do you get to enjoy your life with?
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, like Drew's saying, when we get old, sex not's gonna be there, right? There's eventually where that stops. Yeah. When you're 80 or depending health, I don't know. But you're always gonna want to talk to someone.
Yeah, definitely.
If I'm still healthy, I'm still going to want to gossip. I'm still going to want to talk shit with you about someone like, oh, she did that. Oh, that's crazy. Stuff like that. That's
shit at the grocery store.
Yeah. Just stories to tell, because those are your adventures. But that's what it is. That's our opinion on relationships. A lot of people might want to think like that, but it's cool that you're in a healthy and a good relationship as what we can see, and that she supports you. And you guys... I mean, when I see you guys on the podcast, you guys are natural, like friends, just gossiping. That's what it is. Same thing. You feel comfortable. She feels definitely comfortable.
It's a lot of late nights, working.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But like you said, it's because I do have a good partner with me, and she was my friend first before becoming a partner. Yeah.
That's what it takes. So when she's in there sleeping, you're in here working.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, it's she understands what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has to be a team effort at the end of the day. Yeah.
Very true.
Because, I mean, we've all had that relationship where they're just nagging and nagging. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? I mean, oh, can we go to the mall now? Can you take me out to eat? Or
How
whatever
come you never
it
have
is.
time for me?
Exactly. Whatever it is. Can we go do what my friend's doing or whatever it is? And it's male and female.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just a female thing.
And a lot of people like to compare real quick. I know we're closing up and everything, but a lot of people like to compare real quick. Like, oh, well, Amanda's boyfriend takes me here. She's always giving me attention. Why can't you be like that? You got to stop comparing.
Exactly.
You got to stop comparing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Is there something else that we haven't touched on when it comes down to what your guys' project is going to be? Something that we haven't...
It's business, leadership, motivation, and really just an opportunity for people to start their business, create media content, get connected. It's almost like a little mixer. So it's a little hub. I don't know what it's going to grow into. I just know that we can provide a lot of value from my side of business, her side of the media connections, those worlds clashing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a, Chris Brown knockout 1-2 combo, I like to call it.
And right now, currently, we do have a lot of sponsorships. Like, for example, doing a lot of collaboration, like with Every Plate, like delivering doors. So that's why you see some cooking videos now on our feed. We do everything.
Nice.
Between finance, the real estate, the media, the red carpets, now the cooking videos, and people
We're like the mafia.
and people actually enjoy that because you have a little bit of viewers of everything. Not a lot of people like listening to our controversial if they don't like the subject, but they'll like to learn how to make chicken parmesan or some other type of recipe like home moms, stuff like that. So I guess it's like a little TV channel for a little bit of everything for all the viewers.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, and I think that's why I love podcasting, right? Because even if you guys are talking about something controversial, they're getting to know your thoughts at the end of the day, right?
They know the real us.
Yeah. And that's why podcasting became so popular, right? Because you get to hear so many different different points of views. Yeah. So I think everything, like I didn't know that side of you guys. And a lot of people, like from you guys sharing your guys' experiences and your guys' beliefs and your guys' mission, I learned a lot from you guys. And I'm like, man, I really, really like stand for what you guys are doing.
Thanks. And we'd like to have you in-house also in Del Mar at the studios. Yeah. You and your partner to be part of our podcast with Shooting Star Media as special guests. So
yeah, that'll be dope.
Hopefully you guys can come up, go north for a little bit, have a little bit of dinner and wine with us on set and have a good time.
So from your point of view, being out there doing public speaking, how did I do? Or rate me?
No, you're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And this is what I was telling Drew because we watched a lot of your guys' reels before coming up here.
Okay.
I wanted to know a little bit of insight.
Yeah.
I love your editing too. That's what we were talking about. Like you're really good. So like your time and being in the office and everything, it's like
it's an art.
Yeah,
I know,
it is.
And then we were like in the car right now. We were like, damn, that's gonna be us. We're gonna be in that ending.
yeah, that's dope.
So we look forward to watching this. But honestly, you did a good job. Keep doing it. Keep hustling. You two work together very well as a couple and on the podcast as well. Yeah. So as in my professional opinion, you guys are very good. And I see very big projects coming up on you and anything that we can help with to do with media, count with us.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I think we have a lot of like-minded ideas. I think we all can collab and do something.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, like I said, I learned a lot from you guys. And I'm like, man, like it's crazy that through just scrolling through the phone you would never get that, but now having a full-on conversation just changes the whole perspective.
Does that make you think like, oh, now I see why she does that makes sense, that right, like it's like putting a face to a name sometimes.
Exactly.
But with details.
And it's way different, right? That's why I feel like we've lost a lot of touch with being human because a lot of it we just deal with interaction through a screen, through a phone, in comparison to actually having a full-on conversation.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that we all can get together and have a conversation. I mean, it's so rare. I mean, God,
really
let's roll
is.
the clocks back 4 years ago.
It really
holy
is.
shit. We couldn't even come within 6 feet of
It's like,
people.
don't touch me.
Yeah.
Oh, infected.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Where's your mask?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, don't let me get started on that.
Man.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, trust me.
Rebel.
That's another subject for another podcast, man.
Trust me.
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, trust me. I can't believe people fell for all of that.
Sheeple. 100%, man. I mean, it's that's why I say we're part of the Matrix. They're brainwashed. They believe what they want or they believe what they're being told. They don't have opinions. Oh man, this is getting juicy.
No, I'm telling you, this is another podcast.
No, let's cut it right there, guys.
Yeah. Okay. So for the people that made it to this point of the podcast, you guys choose an emoji that people can drop.
That fire.
Fire?
That lit.
Okay, fire.
Always be litty.
So whoever made it to this point of the podcast, drop some fire emojis.
Yeah.
Definitely. Honestly, I had a blast. I think
Me too.
Man, this is dope. This is super, super dope. And honestly,
Cheers.
I'll make it a point to make it out there because I'm very intrigued with everything you guys are doing.
For sure.
Cheers. Yeah. So.
Always end a good podcast with a good drink.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys don't have anything else, you guys are good. Last thing.
Yeah.
We're good.
Good.
Great.
We're
Thank
very,
you, guys. I mean, last going away message. I know you always like to say that to everybody. I mean, guys, just never give up. I mean, straight up, like it's hard. It's like, let's give it up to Angel here. I mean, because consistency. Yeah. It's not easy, but he's a testament of it. Success leaves clues. Never give up.
Yep, and everyone just make sure to follow Hoy No Más podcast. It's great. It's natural. Go with the flow. It's a vibe. And Angel, thank you so much for having us. It was an honor to be here. A lot of fun.
And like I always like to say, it's a bigger risk not taking a risk. Till next time. Cool. Boom. Thank you. That was so dope. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Good job.
Oh man, how'd you guys like it?
My ears. That's so different.
Oh, you guys are not used to the headphones, huh?
Like me with the singing.
Whoa.
What?
Whole different world.
Yeah,
right. That's why I like the headphones, because it feels like almost you get into another dimension, right?
Yeah.
Strella's like, nah, I don't like it.